Hello, YouTube. We are back. It should be actually exactly where I left off, because I woke up not long ago, and after I dealt with like modding duty on Twitch and eating, I came back here. So let's see what we're doing. Speak to Alpha. So yeah, good morning. Technically, this will be going out at 6 a.m. On a day, so it will be morning when if you're watching this, probably as well if you're watching it on time. If not, well then I guess uh if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And I wonder how many people actually know what that's a reference to. Are you inside? You are, and you're up. That's actually not really. That's not a bad outfit, actually. I don't know what those pants are, but I'm pretty sure the top's the Tifa outfit that everybody gets for having the pre-order or whatever. Also, this is a good demonstration. Look at her chocobo and my chocobo. They are the same. I'm pretty sure they're the same chocobo. But because I'm a Lilifel, it's so much smaller. See, there's another one. I'm a baby chocobo. Okay, let's actually get to the get what we're doing. I was getting distracted there. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the warrior of light would succeed? I think I speak for us all when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you'd be so kind. Did we just beat Shiva? Is that the last thing we did? I think it was. I think I ended the last video with Shiva. Excuse me. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me also get my allergy meds so I don't... So I just woke up, so I didn't adjust if I needed it or not. My allergies have been wild lately. Fun fact about me. You would probably hear me coughing more when I record or stream, but I usually take allergy meds before, so I don't cough as much. Because my coughs are kind of like sudden. It's not like I can be like, excuse me. Because the way I have my mic set up and stuff, I'd have to turn the mic up to mute. Or I'd have to mute like all the audio altogether because my mic is fed through the audio mixer. So I don't have an easy way to mute my mic. So I usually just take allergy meds, make sure it's preventative before. Not always, and I'm sure that shows sometimes. But if I know I'm starting to have allergies, I'll usually do it ahead of time, just so I don't have to worry about it. Because they will prevent it as well, kind of thing. But generally, it's the medicine I take for allergies cuts it off. It doesn't, like, it takes effect if you use it, but it's not a preventative necessarily. So usually you take the medicine after you're showing signs. So I only take it when I'm starting to cough a lot. When I'm not recording or something. But anyway. Not too late to prevent further loss of life. An outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Lily to thank. Yes, You are right, of course, Sir Emmerich. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is a matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever, whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years. My knights will find her. Oh, at first I thought this was Elfina talking, so... Whoops. Emmerich started to sound like Elfina. In the meantime, Lord Delamont, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies that the heretics stole from the House for Thames caravan? Less the crystals, which comprise the bulk of the shipment. Yes, scarcely a fraction of that, which was promised. But a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Ah, on an unrelated note, Lily, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. I'll go talk to Hushafont. Men give vent to their anxieties in many ways. Pray do not think less of him. I think more of him. He fucking cares. Because I'm the same way. I'm gonna go. Fuck it. We're fighting. We're fighting together. It's funny to me though. He's like, we're friends now for life. Their health is fine, so they're fine. I do happen to look at like when I see other players, because despite the fact that I'm like introvert, I don't talk to a lot of people, whatever else. Even like playing with the other people in the trials can give me anxiety kind of thing to some degree. I still watch people. Like when I was a healer, somebody was in a fate and they were getting their ass beat, and I went over and healed them. I literally level synced so they could also attack me and started healing them. Didn't have to. I just saw it and I was like, sure, why not? If our business here is concluded, we should attend to Sir Emmerich in the intercessory. What were you thinking, Lily? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? And then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat. By the Fury, Lily, 'tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Afno in private. He awaits in the intercessory. See, he cares. We like Clashafon. I would like to hear that voice, because I would have liked to hear the tone that came off of that one. 100% I would have loved to hear the tone. Greetings, madam. I shall show you in at once. I think once we get, like, done here, we're gonna hit where we need to do those trials, so we might have to do Ifrit and them in this video.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
You gonna let us know her name now?
Lucia, at your service.
There we go.
Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
I have faith in you, Hoshafar. I guess I'm kind of saying it right. I just don't have the accent of the words or the letters behind the name. Eyes unclouded. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reprisal of the primal threat, and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications of word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized people as well. Any lingering objection to Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all of Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Lily. It is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. Actually, we might have a dungeon yet before we do before we get forced into the trials. I think I know where it's gonna drop off. I think. Be wrong. Like I said, we definitely have to do the trials and stuff. Hey, Umbrita. My man. Did y'all drink Thancred under the table? What the? Thancred. The fuck happened here? Trying to tumble the table now, are we? Don't give up yet, boy. Ida, line him up. What you two do is your own business. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, Ida's not drinking. These two are drinking. And he just got drank under the table by Moonbrita, apparently. Hey, I just gotta say, you're, pretty, you're alright. Sir. Sip before practice, a sip after practice, and all too often a sip during practice. I do believe Moonbrita is having quite the bad influence on you. Calm your shelf. It's just a little ship after practice. Clears out the cobwebs at no end. Make sure he doesn't get too drunk. Hey, you two. What are you doing over here? I do not fault Sir Emmerich for being less than forthcoming with his beliefs. Not even the Highborn are beyond the reach of the Inquisition. True, young leaders can be more amenable to new ideas. Then again, their lack of experience and influence can hinder their ability to enact reforms. There's a little fortune and far less fame in being a receptionist. But one must be realistic. Also, it would seem that I was grossly misinformed regarding the average earnings of a street performer. I like how Tataru has to stand on her table. Or her chair to reach her table. Hey, Minfilia, we're back.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglemog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think.
Yep.
Hydaelyn speaks to her as well.
Yep.
If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard
Yes,
Zona
sir.
was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Ascians got their hands in every pocket. That's how they're connected. The other one's dragon related. Dravanian related. I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard Soma. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few. Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? What's going on out here? I have to bonk somebody? Lily, 'tis well that you are on hand. We have a problem. Riel has escaped. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flame took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial. But apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with two guards. 'Tis plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing her quitting the city via the Gate of Null, with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castrum Rudianum, I am certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon her heels. Pray make haste to Camp Blue Fog and join the hunt. I forgot about this part too, so yeah. We gotta, like, I shouldn't say I forgot about it, I just didn't remember when it was showing up. I'll always say this, and I know I've said this in other videos, but my knowledge of the game, I remember everything for the most part, at least story-wise. Don't remember every little detail, but at least main story-wise. Problem, I don't remember where the pieces go. It's like I know all the pieces to the puzzle, I just don't know where they go. My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that she walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Ruban's decision to keep the matter a secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made an attempt to detain her. And so here we are. She must not be allowed to reach the castrum. Gotta get her, gotta get her. Que huevda. that really necessary? I had better be compensated for the additional exertion you caused me. What was that? This wretch was with Royale. He threw himself at us, that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down. Not even when he started screaming. No loyalty, even to her own. The god's damned harpy. With me, Cyan, we almost have her. I don't think we need a trial anymore. She be guilty. I want her alive. Kill the rest. For Eorzea. Stupid, I ain't taking the entire group. Let me reinforce this. Look sharp, man. What? I can't move. Yeah, get the damn hands. Hands. Can't target the hands. Can I not target the hands? You're not paying me enough. Okay, there we go. They have healers. Kill them first. I'm trying to get the aggro of everything. You want to help me kill this thing instead of just me fighting it? No? No, okay. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. Don't mind me. Give us our lateness. Yukiri! Finally, somebody to help me. These asses are focused purely on her. Circle fetters for those who wander within lure. Okay, I'll lure everybody in there. How many people I'm just tanking at the moment? When did that guy get it into the fight? I thought I had everybody. Well, besides her, because she wouldn't aggro to me for some reason. Find her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. She and her imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames, people look up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fall so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling, who has never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it's your God-given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-born Ishgardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagine me a paragon when I join the flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you're the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Ruban himself was born into poverty. As was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? It is true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth. It is true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Udal to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. I joined the Crystal Braves that I might strike a blow against the Empire. Those who casted lot with Garlemald should expect no better treatment. Not so much as a hint of remorse. It is well that this sordid business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Ruban chose his. Kind of a shitty way to phrase it, but...
I've heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Roban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace.
You make your creepy ass smile, motherfucker.
Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Let us cling together. Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Ruban. And that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and appraise Minfilia of all that has happened. I am aware that Minfilia held Riel in high regard. For better or worse, she will want to know how this tale ends. Minfilia! She was a bitch. She was the traitor. No sympathy. Off with her head. I mean, she'll have a trial and, you know, all that.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say. Together with Robon, Eline lent us much-needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat.
That last name, I would have never...
When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Asians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled.
Avengers, assemble! I mean, Scions, assemble!
My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with White Auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Asian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to Auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Asian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Asian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Hebrea.
During that encounter, Hydaelyn bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Hebrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Hydaelyn placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Hydaelyn did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white orosite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
It would seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the Orosite. And I could do with some help. Eorzea, why don't you lend me a hand?
Wink, wink.
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
Wink, wink.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Oh. Got another cutscene.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
I would have never pronounced that name that way.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the Calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
7 hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monitor as scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! One day I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
Rah!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The Monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the Monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the Immortal Flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Ul'dah's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the Monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the Immortal Flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The Monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Roban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Ul'dah will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Roban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
Like how Connie was talking there, they don't even bother saying what she's saying. Oh, here we go. Yep, I need to do the the trials now before we continue. Well, let's see. Like I said, I'm gonna just keep doing this right now. But let's see if I even can. I'm assuming I can. Yeah, the item level is a lot lower, so it's easier than the other ones we've done so far for this one. So now we need to do the hard mode versions of these. Let me go ahead and try to do it right now. This one as is. We'll also have to go. Well, I don't know if it's gonna take me. If it's gonna take me away, or if it will keep me where I was. These shouldn't take that long. You usually get people pretty fast for these. Usually being the keyword. Definitely lasted a while before. But we need to complete these, which until we do that one, we can't do this one. So Garuda will be next. And in hard mode, we don't have duty support. So you have to deal with waiting for it. We already got a couple DPS though. Technically speaking, I probably could have done the tank. Z-Free, because of hard mode and whatever else. I'm more familiar with E-Free. Because unlike the other ones, since we do it in the regular, we do it in hard mode. And I think I've done it in most of my characters. Like, well, not in most of my characters. But I've done it in a bunch of them. I'm more familiar with the fight. But it is changed a bit. Also, something I never pointed out and why I didn't use it earlier is this thing. This chest will give you a weapon of the item level and level, but it's based on whatever class you currently are, as far as I'm aware. So, like, I could open this and get a level 110 or whatever. But I already have 115 with this one, so, like, it's not really a big deal to do that. For, like, this. But, yeah. I'll wait and see if we get it quickly. If not, I'll do the same thing I always do. Pause, unpause, you know, and so forth. Pretty sure the cutscenes isn't any different, but I'll let the cutscene play. I could be wrong. Wow. It just said I had a DM and I randomly looked and I like on Discord, I just looked at my phone briefly while we're waiting here. It just gave me a DM, it unmarked it. And I was like, I haven't read it. I literally read it. I literally read it like when I woke up like a few hours ago. Like, huh? Thanks for like marking a message I've already read. Unread. I also like how, depending on what you're doing, people stay here. Because, like, Papa Lima is technically in the other place at this point. But because he's the one that gives the quest, he's still here. And there's the side quest people that I'm not sure either. If they, like, once we do the side quest, I don't know if they go away. That's what the one thing that makes it really funny when you're following somebody that's doing the main story. They'll be like going up to people like, imagine, and I don't know if this person disappears. But imagine them go up to here, sit there. It says they're in a cutscene because of the symbol, but you're like, there's no one there. They've already left on your screen or whatever, so it's like, there's nobody there. It's like, oh. Because I'm positive once you do these, Papa Limo is not here. Or maybe it's a bit later, but he's not in this place at all. So, yep, there we go. What was that, like 5 minutes? Not bad. But yeah, it's so funny when you go into something like that and it's like, can't. I'm pretty sure this is just like, he's here, he was summoned. I don't think there's any, it might even be the same for normal. I don't remember. They did not. I thought he was gonna flip. Oh, my bad. I thought he was gonna flip before, I totally just tanked that shit. Zoom out so you can see. Because when you switch it to like normal to hard mode or whatever, there is new, like that. Am I blind? Where is he? Oh, okay. Oop. Oh, thank you. If those nails don't get killed, it's pretty much a GG. At least for some people, it would definitely be a GG. Shit. Yeah. Oop. Speaking of that, somebody died. Ow, that hit me. Jesus, I thought I was out of the rain. Lord, am I hit by this? Yeah, see, these hard ones are not. That's the issue. Sure. I don't care, I'll leave. If you leave, it just switches it to the next. Like the loot is passed on to somebody else. I think I have to go places yet, so I think you have to like attune to the crystal, so I'll switch back to my thing. Ah, Lily, I hear you have triumphed over Ifrit. Of course, this is no less a feat than I would expect of a warrior of light. But well done all the same. Now I full had in mind to crack open a bottle of 1547 Bacchus, but the celebration must keep. Garuda, I am afraid to say, has also returned. As you well know, Garuda's appetite for destruction far exceeds that of other primals. Not to dishearten you, but in her latest incarnation, that appetite has become nigh insatiable. In the short time since her return, she has already wreaked tremendous havoc. You must send her back to the ether before she can do any more damage. In the meantime, Ida and I will assist the Order of Twin Adder in her recovery effort. When you previously faced Garuda, 'twas the Enterprise that bore you through the storm that shielded her domain. Well, that storm is as a spring breeze beside which she has raised this time. No airship could hope to penetrate it. And so we must count ourselves fortunate that the Order of the Twin Adder chanced to discover a beastman aetheryte leading to the Howling Eye. Before you do aught else, I suggest you pay a visit to Adder's Nest and have words with the commander. He will be able to tell you about the said aetheryte, among other things. Make no mistake, the Lady of the Vortex will prove a formidable opponent, but I believe that you can weather the storm. May the 12 keep you safe. Maybe that's why Ystrola's here. Maybe she's for Titan. She might be for Titan. That might be why she's still here too. Go to Granania. Adder, so it would be on this side. It's funny though, the more you play, the more you come across like similar people you've already run across, because there's a couple of people at that crystal I've seen like a few days ago that were at that crystal again too. Ah, Lily of the Scions. We are grateful for your aid. As you will already know, the cursed Ixil have summoned Garuda once more. Since her return, she has wasted no time unleashing her fury upon the region. Extensive damage has been reported in both the Tweleswood and Krithis. I almost started slipping into Papalimo. She must be stopped. and soon, lest more lives be lost. In the name of the Elder Seedseer, I humbly request you put an end to her reign of terror. As in the past, Garuda keeps her court within the Howling Eye, which is perpetually protected by a raging tempest. Fortunately, we have learned of an alternate way into her domain. The Ixal have constructed an aetheryte within Nadaland, their stronghold in the central highlands of Kurthis. This aetheryte will take you to Garuda's tempestuous realm. We owe this discovery to the Ishgardians, who the Elder Seedseer says desire to repay the kindness you showed them. For the sake of our people, as well as theirs, may your mission be met with success. Where is this? It's in Kurthis, okay. I thought that's where it was, but I wanted to make sure before I just teleported there and find out, oh, never mind, it wasn't here. It's so funny playing ranged DPS because my main classes have always been physical DPS. So to do damage, I've always had to be right by the boss. So being so far away from the boss is actually kind of hilarious to me. This should unlock it, and then we can queue for it. Yes. Okay, let's switch back. I don't know if I'm going to keep the Reg Mage. I haven't decided what classes I'm going to be for other ones. But I will pick a class in each one of these. So if I did that, it would be ranged, magic range DPS. So we'll see. We'll see what I pick. But that's why I haven't really worried about like giving them anything or whatever. But they're actually lower average item level now than my main character. Again, make sure you uncheck the one before. Actually, I'm curious. Can we? Oh, okay. So I always click and then click again, but yeah, we can just click one button to do it on controller. Anyway, now Garuda. Keep with that. And while we do that, I will teleport back. We'll get this done and then we'll do a little more story depending on how long queues take. Before we end this video, obviously. I figure we're probably going to get about another like 5-10 minutes per. There's going to be one more. Because it's Titan as well. Ooh, it's a pretty coloring. I like that. Oh wait, we want to be in the solar. My thought process is that this is gonna be, yep, see, Papalina's gone and Ishtola's here. That's why she was still here. She is the one for Titan. Makes sense. Each representative kind of thing. This is a Stancrad that we got the Ifrit from. We just did it early, so. Also, how is my currency? Okay, we have pretty high ones so far, so we're good there. Oh. Interesting. So there's another thing here, currency. I'm pretty sure the one next to that has to do with the firmament, probably. But this is from A Realm Reborn 3 Endwalker, and then there's a second tab that's not unlocked. I'm guessing it's Dawn Trail. I was actually just gonna say, use the currencies to display in that. Oh yeah, you can do on the HUD. The seals show somewhere? Default is Gil. Currency icon to cycle through. Is this like? Do you see it? I wouldn't mind having those show up too. Is there actually like a setting to do that? Like Gil's a HUD thing, so it makes sense that it shows up. Interesting. Not sure what that means by HUD setting that it's supposed to show. So I would totally put like ventures and stuff down here. Wonder. Is that what it is? Oh, yeah, it is. It'll show whichever currency you want to show down there. We can only do one of them at a time. Interesting. I probably found that out when I did it, but like, I just don't remember. Also, while we're at it. I got a few. Okay. Sure, increase your accuracy, because I want to get to some of these other ones. Let's take 6. That's the rest of them. What are these other ones? Healing potency. Oh, never mind. Actually, let's just do it real quick and then close it up. I'll go to the end of the healing one for the chocobo since I'm a tank. Corrida, the Lady of the Vortex, for anybody that doesn't remember. These cutscenes are like awesome, but I hate that they're done and like they can't do these solo. Well, technically you can, but I don't remember what her moves are. The main thing that's changed for the E3 was the dash. If I remember right. Her eyes, though. My eyes, too. Is she? Isn't that... There we go. Like, why am I not targeting her? reckoning done. See, that's new. That poor Sprout. Dancing between them repeatedly. And boop. I'm waiting for people here. Always do the healer. And then I'll just, yep. That way I don't have to bother with doing the leap. There we go. Again, we're gonna have to go to the Aetheryte and all that. Titan! So both Ifrit and Garuda are now vanquished by your hands. Truly, you have earned yourself a rest. Would that you had the luxury of time to enjoy it. It pains me to say that Titan has also returned, and with a vengeance, as was the case with his primal brethren. He has grown stronger than he was before. When I went about my investigation, all indications suggested that the kobolds were nowhere near ready to resume their summoning rites. But it turns out, they were deceiving us. I should have known better. Kobold's subterranean domain runs deep, and they can easily hoard crystals, with our being none the wiser. And a vast hoard of it must have been. Till now, Garuda was the most powerful among the three recently active primals, but according to our latest readings, Titan has usurped that honor. The primal's might is determined by two factors: the amount of crystals it has gorged upon, and the fervor of its believers. I would like nothing more than to measure precisely how strong the Lord of Crags has become, but I fear the time for such prudence has run out. We have already received an official request for your assistance from the Maelstrom, and as you might expect, it is addressed to you. For your previous encounter with Titan, you have traveled to his Demison by way of the Aetheryte, first discovered by the Company of Heroes. Sad to say, this Aetheryte no longer seems to respond. But do not despair, for the Maelstrom has reportedly found another in this place. You will want to speak with the commander at Maelstrom Command for the details. I cannot stress this enough, but Titan has grown fearsome strong. See to it you spare no preparation. Ulimsa Lominsa. Oh wait, I'm going the wrong way. My brain saw the purple and I was going towards the purple, even though the purple has not anything to do with what we need right now. Ah, Corporal Lovecraft. Your presence is most welcome. I'm chagrined that we must turn to you again to lay Titan low. No doubt this is yesterday's news to you, but the Lord of Craig has returned more fierce and formidable than he was before. We cannot fathom how the kobolds were able to obtain such vast stores of crystals in so short a time. We will learn the answer in the coming moons, I suspect, but first things first. We need you to vanquish Titan before he and the kobolds have a chance to wreak havoc on Limsa Lominsa. You have felled the primal before, and we believe that you can emerge victorious once more. We've learned of a new aetheryte that will take you to the navel. It's situated deep within Gomorrah Mines, and not the most convenient of locations, admittedly, so you will have to cut yourself a path. Please make haste. Titan's mere presence emboldens the kobolds. 'Tis only a matter of time before they move in force against us. May the Navigator guide you on your way, Corporal. Limsa, so it would be, should be Camp Overlook. I'm pretty sure that's the kobold's place. I could have looked, but... the kobolds are here, so... this is a place that if you're not paying attention, you can easily get lost in. Because certain doors don't open. If you're not paying attention, you can try to go a different way, like this. That's not open. You have to go all the way around. Staying up in the air as much as I can because these are my level, or within range of my level, as you see. You often get attacked here. I want to make sure nobody comes here because that person's idle. But they didn't follow me. Because you can accidentally have people follow if you're in a place like this. And in the example of your idol, if that enemy came in here and I left for some reason, it would aggro, or if I left for some reason, I should say, and then that person would be getting attacked, which is rude as shit. You shouldn't get somebody to be attacked. I think it's actually against like guidelines. I think you can get like flagged or something if you like grief somebody by doing that. Okay, now Titan. And after that, we should just go back to Reverend. So let's teleport to Reverend. That should be the last one we need to do to get access to the next quest. Until we end up having to do the Crystal Towers. But yeah, Aline's last name, the Rael or whatever they were calling her, I mean. I wouldn't have begun to do that, to think that that's how you spell it. See, it showed them all before, but now I only need to do Naval. It's updating based on the ones I'm doing. You see it in the... no, you can't. So now we wait. And wait we shall. My chair. I'm just waiting to fight Titan. You can give me your chair for that long. And then I'll do your mission. Where is the... that item setting. Yeah, like that. Say skill. I like how this is hide when all quests are complete, but like that ain't happening for a long time. Overhead name. Their name abbreviated. That might be for that. Their name abbreviated. That's if you're targeting. Apparently targeting does not have. Party list, here we go. Their name abbreviated. Yeah, for some reason I didn't do that. I just did it for other things. Where is the other ones though even? I just did it in display name. Yeah, this is the only one I messed with. Interesting. I made sure all of these were surnames. But I didn't do NPCs, cause why? I also didn't do PvP, I don't do PvP. I have the color set. Okay. I think now, let's test it real quick. Oh, they're past, so they're not gonna be. See, this is what they're all saying. Boy there, hi, gotta love this song. Yeah. I'll need to check when we get into this one if I fixed it. Because I noticed chat was showing the full names too. So I wonder if I changed enough of the abbreviated. Now the party should be abbreviated. Oh, yeah it is. Because look, it says Lily L. It doesn't say Lily Lovecraft. So the party is accurate now. There's so many settings in this game though, like it's so easy to mess up. And I actually, and I know I said this at the start, I didn't know you could transfer your current settings to other characters. So every time I made a new character, the ones that I did play, even if they, I adjusted the settings every single time. Also, when I mentioned picking one from each of these, I will try to do them all eventually, just so you can see the quests related to them. But it's a lot of work to level up like other roles in general. So I'll stick to one at a time. But it's nice to have other roles, so I don't know what we'll do. But if there's a role that you're interested in, let me know. There's some that I'm just not good at. Let's put it this way. I've said this before, but like the Gunbreaker quest, the very first one when you get the Gunbreaker, I couldn't figure out how the Gunbreaker worked. I literally couldn't complete the most basic Gunbreaker quest because I couldn't figure out how the Gunbreakers work. But at the time, I had never even dabbled into tank either, so. I'm not sure if what I did changed it in chat as well. I forget what all the criteria I did. They fixed it there though. All their title cards are appropriate. No more doxing people. Hell to the no. Why me? Must not be close. Oh no, but there we go. Like, I must not be close enough to get the heals. By the way, plain and simple, you can fall off Titan. I don't know if you can in the default one. But as you see, the ground has been lowering. Damn. Wait, can I get dual cast? I must not finish it. Need to pay attention. Help if anybody gets stoned. Oh shit. My bad. Wait, why didn't I? There we go. It's like, why didn't I get revived? It looked like they tried to revive me, but they didn't. Let's get in. Ooh, they almost fell off. Ah, shit. Fuck. Put that ahead. Particular. I received a recommendation too. I remember the first time I did that on hard, I got fucking yeeted off. Titan fucking threw my ass off the cliff. I did not expect that. I was just straight up yeet. But now I can continue until we have to do the crystal tower. So let's do a little bit more, for sure. Because we did do that under 2 hours already, so. I am most eager to address the Ascian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Science of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many responsibilities. Unless you forget, Minfilia, the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason? True, we are presented with a multitude of problems, however, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Lily, in particular, is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. Yeah, sure. Science do, though. What do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Udal? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their high-ranking officers was a Guardian spy. Suffice it to say, Telegietta and his monetarist ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Bond needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it would be for the best if I were to remain in Udal, unless you have an objection. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbreeder's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Oranje is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Last, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time. Lily, while we focus on the task, perhaps you could assist Alphino and his Braves with theirs. It would do much to restore faith in the Immortal Flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and the nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Ryle's latest report. Now I'm wondering how you say his name. He has proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept a secret. Hence, why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Undal's riots. The Undaln riots, or however you say the citizenry one. When you are finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. Is everything in order, Lily? Are you ready to attend us? Hello, Lily. Are you sleeping well? You must be absolutely exhausted from saving the realm on a daily basis. Hey, buddy. Pleasure as always, Lily. You'll be escorting the commander to Gaul, I take it? Actually, I had another task in mind for her. If you'd be so kind as to repeat your report for her benefit. Right then. Me and mine have been making inquiries into the source of the weapons what found their way into the refugee hands a ways back. So happens we caught wind of something promising. A rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near Highbridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer for this transaction to remain in secret. Brings to the mind that a merchant what caught an arrow while talking to Lily, don't it? Generous fella he was, doling out swords and spears to the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say that these clients have the same mischief to mine. But if you want to be sure, it might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods. Savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, Lily? Let's do it. And it is settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at Highbridge, and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Udal. I expect good tidings. Highbridge, I think, is in Camp Drybone, right? Yes. Camp Drybone. Get to the high bridge, and then I'm going to pause the video and get some food, and then I will record tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's as of this recording, anyway. Not actually tomorrow. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!